So welcome. It is 5 o'clock, February 5th, 2024. This is a regular meeting of the City of Cape Girardeau City Council. Thank you all for being here. We will first begin with an invocation by Pastor Zach Strong of Christ Church of the Heartland, and then follow that with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you would all please stand and join us.
Let's pray. Father, we just bless you and thank you for this awesome day that you've given us. And thank you for our great city and community, Father, for which we live, the blessing that it brings, God, to all of its citizens. And tonight, God, I thank you for this council, for the leadership of our city. And I just pray a special blessing upon them, a blessing of wisdom and grace as they lead us, Father, as they lead our community into the future. And Father, for the welfare of its citizens, may your guidance, may your hand of blessing rest upon them, and may joy and peace and prosperity fill our city and safety fill our streets. So God, we give you thanks for that tonight and all the praise in Jesus' name. Amen. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. We have no study session or presentations tonight. Council, any communications or reports?
I
Robbie?
don't know if anybody mentioned it at the last meeting, since I wasn't here, but I wanted to send a congratulations to the Terry Kitchen family. Coach Kitchen, who passed away in 2019, was inducted into the Missouri High School Baseball Association, Coaches Association Hall of Famer, and his son Tatum was there to accept, and really neat deal. I don't believe that there any baseball coaches around this area that are in that Hall of Fame other than Coach Kitchen. So pretty special for them. So kudos to them.
Great. You know what, Shannon?
Just wanted to let everybody know that Saturday out in Jackson is the Purple Paw. So you can either walk a mile or run a 5K. Bring your dog, take a walk for a good cause. Those funds go to SEMO Pets. So hope to see you all out there Saturday. Also, I had the opportunity to go to the jazz show concert at Scout Hall on Saturday night, I suppose. And what a great performance. And that's something that we've been talking about before, about perhaps having an entertainment district where we have these venues that we can bring in these out-of-town bands and specialized musicians working with our own SEMO professors. It was a great event. It was fantastic music. So I hope to see something like that every month at that location, and that is right now the talk of the town. So it was a great event, a great venue. Thank you.
Anyone else? No? All right, thank you. We will move into, we have several items for discussion. First, is there anyone in the audience who wishes to appear as an advisory board applicant? Sir, I see one person. Come on up, introduce yourself, let us know who you are and what you're interested in doing.
Thanks for having me. My name is Tom Trotter, and I'm a fairly new resident to Cape, but I've been coming to Cape for about the last 8 years. My wife is from here, went to Cape Central, which I guess everybody goes to Cape Central from what I understand. But I'm an aviation enthusiast. I've been a licensed pilot for, I hate to say it, almost 50 years. And I didn't start when I was 10, I'm sorry to say. But I was a naval aviator, served in the Navy for 24 years, fighter pilot, carrier base pilot. Proudly served for 24 years, retired in 2000. And then went into a variety of different things with the general aviation. Never did as a commercial pilot on airlines, but I function as a pilot. I work currently for the Plaza Tire folks and fly for them. And I teach at the Cape Airport. My goal is to be on your advisory board and serve in that capacity. I feel like I've got about 17,000 hours of flight time, and about 200 different types of airplanes and helicopters, and anything that flies, I usually jump into it. But I'm at the airport about 3 to 5 times a week. I'm an aviation enthusiast. I have a pretty good idea what I think is really good and some things that might need improvement because I'm always out there. But it would be an honor to serve my community. Like I said, we live here, been here for a couple years. And any questions for me, you're free to ask.
Anyone?
Nothing? Okay. Thanks for the time.
Thanit's for your time and for
And
being
what a
here.
beautiful
And for your
building.
service, obviously.
I just haven't gotten enough tickets, I guess, to come down and ever see this building, but it's very nice. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Trotter. That, I don't know exactly when, a couple months, I think, when the airport board has a spot open. Okay, thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak as an applicant? No? Okay, moving on then. We have some discussion about the Urban Deer Management Program, an update from Officer Metzger.
Evening, Council, Mayor, and Dr. Haskins. I'd like to start off with explaining the city's third managed hunt started and concluded successfully. There were no reported accidents, incidents, or illegal activity or interference by residents, citizens, or hunters. We continued with the 5 periods as we did for the first and second seasons. For the 2023 period, the final results were 18 does, 3 bucks, 2 button bucks for a total harvest of 23, which has been the highest so far at this point. Last year, we had 3 does and 1 buck for a total harvest of 4. We expanded our hunting locations in 2022 from 6 locations to 11 locations for 2023. This year for the 24-25, we requested going from 13 hunters per period to 16 hunters per period after discussion with the Missouri Department of Conservation because of the parcel sizes. Our current hunting locations are Delaware Park, Twin Trees Park 1, Twin Trees Park 2, Fountain Park, East Cape Rock, Highway 177 Park, Haskin, North Shawnee, South Shawnee Park, Veterans Memorial, and Cape Woods. At this point, we've had 3 successful seasons, and in order to continue the impact of reducing property damage, deer car collisions, and the possibility of disease, we must continue to expand and explore the ideas of expanding into the heart of the city where the majority of the deer populations exist. So, any questions?
Well, and this is a business item for later, so, questions now? Council? No? I would just bring up, you mentioned, and a lot of people are asking about the, bringing the hunt in, especially on private land. Whether that's something we can address tonight, I don't think that would be, but is it something perhaps that staff can spend some time further developing, bringing back to us, bringing to the community?
Yes.
Okay. I know in the distant past, there was, a big discussion in the community about it. And so I think in particular, I've heard nothing but praise about how things have gone thus far in the past 3 seasons. I know some concern, as we come in closer to the city where all the people are and more cars and et cetera. And of course, private property, that brings up new issues. So I would love to hear a lot more in-depth
Well, and
thoughts.
over the last 3 seasons of gaining more experience with this,
Yeah.
I've spoke with a lot of municipalities throughout the state of Missouri, gained a lot of good, useful information.
Right.
We've taken a lot of this different information and we're trying to apply it for what would work best for this community. And at this point, Ladue has come up with a really fine ordinance for their city that I think would be just almost perfect for Cape Girardeau.
Great, okay.
So,
Okay, well, we'll talk further and about that in particular. And tonight, there's a bit of there's a timing issue, right? As far as getting things on the books for the Department of Conservation.
yes, so we, Missouri Department of Conservation has to get a lot of their regulations set by February 20th. So that way they can get their information put into the catalogs, magazines that are dispersed throughout the state. I've actually got our dates and our scheduled meeting already prepared and done, so they already have that information. So now it's just a matter of making sure that we have our ordinance approved at this point.
Right. So tonight, we're taking up just those kind of detailed things, not the private property.
That's correct. I don't want to get those two confused because they're going
Right.
to be very similar with just a couple minor differences
Yeah.
for the
All right.
private aspect
So
of it.
the private will be later. Yep.
I was getting ready to ask this question, then I realized it probably wouldn't even apply to me, but since I won't be on council then.
You'll be a concerned citizen.
I'll be a
Robbie.
concerned citizen, right, Stacy? When would that deadline be? What would be the end deadline? Because I know there's going to be a wannabe discussion from council about the private property hunt. When would that deadline, when would the drop dead date have to be able to expand to private property?
For us, it would just be a matter of us adopting or creating an ordinance, because once we do that, as long as we're up and running by the time archery season kicks off, I just want to make sure that we were able to continue to follow the same dates, times, and seasons that the state sets out for that.
For their season.
So
Okay.
Okay,
I
perfect.
would definitely want to have this done no later than end of July.
Okay.
So that way people can be prepared.
So to Stacy's comment, I'd say, from the residents I've heard from, and maybe it's because they know that where I kind of fall on this, the only question or comments that I've received are that people with private property, these people that have 5 and 10 acres, and there are not a lot of them, but there are a few people out there that have those larger tracts and are eager to get into that on their property. So I just found it kind of interesting that those are the people that have contacted me about, wanting to get to the private property hunt with those larger tracts. So I just thought out there.
Ty, first thing, I just want to thank you for all of your work on this. This is a lot, especially for a community like ours. In Ward 1, which is where a lot of this hunt has been concentrated, a lot of people, I think, are generally appreciative. We've got a booming deer population, especially in some of these more rural areas. David's smiling over there. And it's really true. I mean, it's really something that we've got to make sure that we continue to look towards, because last year, having a hunt of 4 didn't really count too much. This year, it was at least more successful, but I look forward to that conversation of the private property hunt, because I think it can just add a little bit of additional help managing the population.
Anything else?
I just wanted to
Oh,
echo what he said and what they said, and just thank you for all the time that you put into this and the research. It's not just the details that you put into the actual administration of it, but giving us background and researching other municipalities and talking to them, what's worked, what hasn't. I appreciate everything you do, so thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Next, Dr. Haskin will have the consent agenda review, please.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. We added 6 and 7 to the consent for your review tonight. I guess we'll start with 6. We have a 1-year lease agreement with BNSF Railway for the storage yard located south of the BNSF office adjacent to River and Rails. That's a 1-year agreement. And number 7, finally, we're ready to accept the sanitary sewer main improvements to serve the club car wash there at 206 North Kings Highway. Where that concludes the consent review.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Haskin. We'll move into regular session and begin with the call to order, and the roll call is Conrad.
Mr. Bliss? Here. Mr. Guard? Here. Mayor Kinder?
Here?
Mr. Presson?
Here.
Ms. Randle?
Here.
Mr. Thomas?
Here.
Ms. Truxel?
Here.
All right, thank you. Council, we have an agenda before us. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Preston, Mr. Bliss, any further discussion? All in favor then of the agenda, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, that agenda carries. We have one public hearing tonight. I will open the public hearing to consider a request to rezone property located at 1507 Independence Street from M1 Light Manufacturing Industrial District to C2 Highway Commercial District. Is there anyone who wishes to appear for that public hearing? All right, I will close that public hearing. We have a consent agenda. Mr. Young, would you please read that?
Bill 2414, an ordinance approving the record plat of Lone Star Industries, Inc. land subdivision. Bill 2414, an ordinance approving the record plat of Lone Star Industries, Inc. land subdivision. Bill 2415, an ordinance approving the record plat of Riverview Gardens number 3. Bill 2415, an ordinance approving the record plat of Riverview Gardens number 3. Bill 2416, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to execute a lighting agreement with Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission for intersection improvements at Route 74, Shawnee Parkway, and Minnesota Avenue in the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Bill 2416, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to execute a lighting agreement with Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission for intersection improvements at Route 74, Shawnee Parkway, and Minnesota Avenue in the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Bill 2417, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a lease agreement with BNSF Railroad Company for a storage and maintenance facility along the Quamsey Street in the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Thank you, Council. Council, we have a consent agenda before us. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Truxel, Mr. Thomas, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none then, all in favor of the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That agenda carries. We have several new ordinances tonight. As always, we'll have a staff member describe the bill, and then folks in the public would have up to 3 minutes to comment if so desired. We'll begin with Bill number 2418, an ordinance amending Chapter 17 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri regarding urban deer hunting and the discharge of firearms. This is the first reading. Officer Mesker, is there anything, there he is. Anything else you needed to add? No? All right. That's all right. Succinct and efficient. Okay. Thank you. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to comment about this bill? Yes, sir. If you would please introduce yourself and state your residence, please.
David Atkins, 133 East Cape Rock Drive. And yes, we have a lot of deer. So the officer mentioned Cape Rock Drive, East Cape Rock Drive. I didn't know if he meant the small park that is out there across from the water distribution area, or if he meant the entire area.
So a lot of that area up there, each of those individual parcels are part of the current managed hunt. And so Fountain Park is one of them, and then even out to the Twin Trees area. So if you look on a map, a lot of our effort is concentrated in north part of Ward 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, we have an acre and 3/4, and, well, this morning there were 5 deer. 3 of them were babies, so.
Well, when if we take up the issue of private property hunting, you can give your 2 cents.
Only if there's someone who will process it for me.
That's a separate thing altogether. The areas for hunting are strictly designated. The maps of each of those areas, is it on the city? Yes, it's on the city website if anyone is interested in finding those. So, anyone else in the public wishing to comment? No? Okay. Council, then, is there a motion to approve Bill 2418?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Guard, Ms. Truxel. Any further discussion, council? All right, hearing none. All in favor then of Bill 2418, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That motion carries. Next, Bill 2419, an ordinance amending Chapter 30 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri by changing the zoning of property located at 1507 Independence Street in the city and county of Cape Girardeau, Missouri from M1 to C2. This is the first reading. Mr. Shrimplin.
Good evening. This is a rezoning request. The property is currently zoned for manufacturing uses. The property has been purchased. The new owner wants to renovate the property and use it for what we call a commercial recreation facility, pickleball courts in this case. And the other part would be for vehicle storage with concierge services. We consider that to be an automobile service use. The first part is not permitted under the M1, the manufacturing zoning, so that's why they're requesting the C2, the commercial district.
Okay, great. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to comment on this bill? No? Okay. Hearing none then, council, is there a motion to approve Bill 2419?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Bliss, Mr. Thomas, any further discussion?
Mayor, please mark my vote in abstention due to financial conflict of interest.
Thank you. Mr. Gard? Anyone else? All right, all in favor then of Bill 2419, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That motion carries. Next is Bill 2420, an ordinance approving the record plat of Younger subdivision. This is the first reading.
This is a plat to combine 2 residential lots into one.
All right. Anyone in the public wishing to comment? Okay, seeing none then, council, is there a motion to approve Bill 2420?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Presson, Mr. Thomas, thank you. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none then, all in favor of Bill 2420, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? That motion carries. And lastly, we have Bill 2421, an ordinance amending Schedule C of Section 26-132 of the City Code by establishing a stop sign at the intersection of Dixie Boulevard and Magnolia Street in the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. This is the first reading. Mr. Pulley.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, Dr. Haskin. This ordinance is adding a stop sign on Dixie at Magnolia. So the ordinance is allowing us to enforce a stop sign. Magnolia will be a through street.
All right. Anyone in the public wishing to comment on this? No? Okay. Seeing none then. Council, is there a motion to approve Bill 2421?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Truxel, Mr. Thomas, any further discussion?
This has been like 3 years in the making, so thank you.
All right. Anyone else? Hearing none then, all in favor of Bill 2421, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That motion carries. We do not have any appointments tonight. We had 2 folks sign up tonight to speak under other business. As always, this is a chance for members of the community to speak on issues that are not on tonight's agenda. Pre-registration is required, and so if you would, please come forward and state your name and address when you come forward. First, we have Harold Tilley. See? Yes.
Passed by the alternate city hall and the sign's still up.
Mm.
You may remember I talked to you guys about maybe some confusion, but it's still up, so there's probably people in town who come to that city hall sign and wonder where the city hall is. Thank you for allowing me the time tonight. I'm going to read a few things that I've written concerning TTF and city budget funds allocated to street repairs. It's my reason for being here this evening. A reminder, I feel confident that you as city council members represent the citizens who elected you, and always do your best to listen to them and accomplish their goals if at all possible. And you represent them and their concerns as well. I'm sure there are no hidden agendas that you folks have. The main thread which runs through almost everything as a concern of citizens in this city by the citizens is street repair and maintenance, not new streets. On the front page of the Missourian, I have a copy of that, right? Excuse me. Dated 2/1/24 is an interesting article concerning Transportation Trust Fund expenditures pertaining to city streets. The details therein are quite good. It concerns A, completed projects, B, in-process projects, and C, coming soon projects. Item C, however, concerns me the most, as it relates to the completion of Veterans Memorial Drive, extending from its current location at New Hopper, going south parallel to I-55 to William. This is a very expensive project. I'm not sure of the projected costs, but feel it will run in excess of $2 to $3 million and counting. This result will siphon millions away from desperately needed projects and repairs to the streets in Cape Girardeau. Let's take care of and upgrade what we have first before developing any new roadways. I liken the reasoning in moving forward with this completion of Veterans Memorial Drive to as follows. A large tree has just fallen on your house, but you decide instead of making repairs to put a tarp on the gaping hole. Then you proceed to add an addition on the end of the house. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tilley. And then the second speaker, Lisa Green, are you speaking tonight? There was a little bit of confusion. No? Okay. You don't have to. Okay.
In light of what he just said, I'll follow
Could you,
up.
I'm sorry, could you introduce yourself and your address, please?
Hi, I'm Lisa Green, and my address is 1218 College Street.
Thank you.
But my email address is lisagreen1997@yahoo.com. So if anybody wants to get hold of me, you can do it through email.
Thank you.
I would like to go on with what Mr. Tilley was talking about. Take care of what you have first before you add any more. You guys want to promote businesses? That's fine. That's great. However, don't forget the property that's already here. Take care of the property that's here. Take care of the people that's already here. If you can't take care of the people that's here, we can't afford any more. You have to take care of what you have. You got to build on that because there is people waiting to use their talents, what they can bring to the table. They just got to get a chance. And you can't say, here's a house, and get this promotion, or you get a house and all this, and then 18 years, they lie and say you didn't make your house payments like you're supposed to, and then take it away, and who's gonna be there to stand up to the people and say, no, you're wrong, she's right? That's just not good. It's not. It's not healthy, it's not good. Just take care of what you have first. And for like the homeless, that's what I was supposed to talk about, sorry. Okay.
We have 3
Okay.
minutes total, so.
How many? Okay, 3 minutes, okay.
Well,
Okay, so I want to talk about homeless and the homeless situation here in Cape. And I go green, I try to save money where I can, I recycle a lot. There's a lot of buildings, like the city hall, that can be used way better than what it has with a person gonna be a museum, I think. That's city, that's state, that's federal funding. Now, all that was already for the citizens. How can a private one buy it? So, like the federal building on Broadway, that's a federal building that has counseling people in there and all that stuff. That could be a use for homeless people. They got counselors in there that if they need counseling and they're there, it's walking distance of the river. There's other vacant buildings that was used for taxpayers' money that can be used for homeless shelter. There's Independence, there's the Central Inn. I don't know what they're doing with that, but that's right by community partnership. People can walk there and get help and rides and all that stuff. There's all kinds of properties that people take the time to look and to help make homeless shelter possible without spending money. That's the thing. You can't spend money doing this. Be creative. Find new ways to redo stuff without spending money.
Thank you, Ms.
It's
Green.
possible.
Thank you very much. That is all for tonight. Is there
Mayor?
a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Also, go Chiefs.
Oh, okay, thank you. Is there a second to adjourn? Mr. Presson, any discussion? All in favor of adjourning, please say aye. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.